I've got a good show for you today. I've got a really good letter here. Let's get right into it, okay? Watch it all the way through. Thanks. This is from Juliet Campa. She says, "Hi, Lee. I started following you recently. I've been contemplating the idea of van life since 2019. However, I'm feeling more inclined to do it now. I'm 51, okay, and I have a part-time job. Single with a small 13-year-old dog. I would need to sell my SUV and buy a minivan, sell all my stuff, etc. Long story short, I live in Miami, Florida, and I need to continue working a bit longer. The heat is my main concern since I have the dog. I'm stuck. Can you give me some advice? Thank you. Keep posting." Yeah, there's a lot in here. That's why I really want to discuss this. We're dealing with location. We're dealing with her age, your age, Juliet. And we're dealing with a pet. And we're dealing with a climate, okay? So right off the bat, I noticed Miami, Florida. And I did a video. When you watch it all the way to the end, when you get to the end, I'm going to list a couple of videos. Okay, all you have to do is click on them. A couple of videos where I talk about this, because I did talk about it. In fact, it's so prevalent in my repertoire of discussion and subjects that I wrote a book about it, a van life thriller. And right now, I'm almost finished with a movie script about it because I think it's so important. Florida, the domicile in Florida. Let's get right into that first, okay, Juliet and everybody? The book that I wrote is Blackout Nomads, and it's based on, it's sort of starting to become a little Orwellian. It's based on this law in Florida. It's Blackout Nomads. It's on Amazon. Get it. It's really, really good. In fact, it's so good, I'm writing a script for a movie on it. Yeah. Okay. In Florida, I want to read this so I don't forget anything. As of 2025, Florida has implemented stricter guidelines for establishing domicile. And what is your domicile? That is your residence. We only get one domicile. You can have homes all over the nation, all over the world, but you have to choose one as your main legal residence, your legal domicile. It's where you follow all the rules, the regulations, your having to do with like your estate will, your driver's license, your insurance, everything, okay? That's your domicile. And it's particularly affecting full-time RVers and digital nomads. While not a new law per se, these changes reflect a more rigorous enforcement of existing regulations by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. Yes, they're enforcing them very strictly, okay? Now, resident address requirements, they require a verifiable residential address for obtaining a driver's license. Now, of course, that's always been that way, but there are mail forwarding addresses that a lot of people in Florida were using and are still using, but a lot of people, I think nomads are getting out of Florida. So that's a big deal, Juliet. And mail forwarding, in many of them, you can use their address. I don't know what the actual establishment of that is because there's P.O. boxes and there are other mail forwarding businesses, but some of them are allowed. You can use that as your residential address, your domicile. Okay, there's still like in South Dakota or in Nevada. There's so many, and there's some in Florida. But here's the change: is that mail forwarding services are no longer acceptable as primary residential addresses. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so they have to. Now, I was of the understanding that an RV park In fact, I did find a video where somebody was the owner of an RV park. And they sent her all kinds of forms where she had to fill them out for all of her, the people that were renting spaces there. And she had to let them know who they were, their names and everything. I'm serious. So this information here is a little bit different than what I had the first time I did the video of it. Okay, so how are they getting around this? Okay, so if you have a mail forwarding address, okay, as your domicile, or I was of the understanding by somebody who made a video that she had an RV park, that she had to let them know, the DMV know that they were there and what their names were, things like that, is that what they're doing is when you renew your license, okay, your driver's license, you're now going to get your license plate number as your address. Yeah, I know. That's crazy. And what's happening is that when you use that for your bank, if you're going to fly TSA and other institutions, you're getting flagged because they see that you do not have a regular address, a residential address. It's your license plate number. That's what the book Blackout Nomads is all about. And when I wrote it, what I did was I thought, well, this could grow. And what happens is it's growing to other states. And nomads are getting, they're getting flagged. And they're getting cut off from society itself. They can't get their bank. Their banks are closing up on them. They've been locked out of their banks. They've been locked out. They're being flagged on anything that they do. Okay, it's a good book. Okay, so what does this have to do with you, Juliet? Well, you're in Florida. If you say that you're working part-time, okay, we'll get your little furry friend in a second. So if you're working part-time and you're in Florida, wow, I just don't think that's a good idea. I do have a solution though. If you're only working part-time and you need to still work, come out west. I mean, that would be, and it's so humid in Florida. I mean, yeah, it gets hot in Arizona too, or in California. But, basically, you can, if you're just working part-time, you can get a job anywhere, can't you? Yeah. I mean, you could get a job. You're only 51. And so I wanted to bring up when I mentioned in the beginning, well, let's talk about your age. You're 51. Okay. And even at 70, you can still get a job. You really can. As long as you can do it, you can still get a job. But, yeah, I just think, okay, if you really want to do this and you really want to save money, because that's really what you want to do, I think. You want to start putting some money away. And this is one of the reasons that I do what I do. I can stash money away. If I had to pay rent, I wouldn't be able to do that at all. Yeah, in fact, I wouldn't even probably be eating. Okay? Yeah, so I say get out of Florida. It's going to be really difficult. It really will, to have your domicile there. Now, let's say you have a friend. You have a friend or relative who will let you park there, because I've heard in Florida it's really difficult to find any place to park. During the day, I mean, you can go to the ocean or whatever. You can go to parks, but at night, you're limited. They really are cracking down on anything to do with the nomad life in Florida. Okay. So, but if you have a friend or relative who will let you use that address, that's perfect. Okay. There you go. It's either that or you need to come out west. It's drier out here. Let's even say you want to go near the coast, the ocean. I know. There's a hair. I hate hair. It's stuck. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. I just can't stand hair. I know, and I have hair. Okay. Obviously, I have hair, so I have to put up with it, but I don't like it. Okay. So let's talk about California. Maybe you want to go on the coast. There is really good climate, if you're near the ocean. I mean, you've got cool air being blown in, and you still can be a nomad out there. A lot of people say, no, they're cracking down. Oh, phooey. What horse hockey, right? You can still do it. You just have to, if you're in a minivan, you can pretty much go wherever you want to go. And nobody's going to kick you out unless you're dirty or you're creating noise or something like that. Or you're a do-no-gooder, But basically, you've also got that too. Okay. And you can find work there. And I believe the minimum wage is so high in California. I almost think for a nomad, if you still want to work, I mean, it's ideal. The rents are so high in California, right? And you do have gas, but, just don't drive so much. But you're not paying rent, are you? So you could have the best of both worlds. You could work there, make really good, high minimum wage, and you don't have the rent to pay, right? They have other rules too, but, and you'd be near the ocean. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So that's my advice on the location and the rules and the laws. Got it? You still have to find a domicile, and I do believe in California you would be able to. Well, here's the thing. You could go to Nevada and Pahrump. They have 2 or 3 of them, really good ones, and get your domicile there and then head someplace else. Go to the coast. So your domicile really is in Nevada. You would have that there. Okay. Got that. Now, let's talk about your furry little friend. Okay. If you're working part-time, what are you going to do with your dog? Well, here's what I was thinking. In Florida, no. I mean, it's too humid. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, if you had a friend that you could park, or relative, and maybe they could help take care of your dog. But here's something else, no matter where you go. What about doggy daycare? It's gotta be less expensive than rent. Wouldn't you think? Yeah. So, I mean, there's your option that you could put them in daycare. When you work part-time, put them in a daycare. Now, if it's at night, let's say you're working in the evening when it's not so hot, you can leave him in there. When I traveled with Paul, I mean, he had Abby. I mean, he left him in the car quite a bit. He had the window cracked down a little bit, but if it's a little dog, you don't want your window cracked down. Abby was a big dog. I don't think anybody would want to be reaching their hand in, with Abby there. But what about daycare? Yeah. Find yourself a really nice place. And I'd be curious if the prices. I don't know because I don't own a dog. But what are the prices of a doggy daycare during the day? Yeah. You never know, or you could even find just like regular daycare for children. I mean, you could find maybe a home that wouldn't mind making a little bit of extra cash and watch your puppy for you, while you work. You could just set up the days when you work. So there's that. Okay, let me see if I missed anything on your letter. Okay, sell your stuff. Yeah, that's a good idea to put money away, sell it, but you need to do it. I have a friend, one of my best friends, and she's been selling, but she's been doing it over a couple years' time, been selling her stuff. She has really nice antique furniture, but she knows eventually she wants to leave. So she does it, but it's hard work. Trying to find what, to get the right amount if you own really nice stuff. Yeah. And then meeting people. Yeah. It's a full-time job. It can be. Yeah. Getting rid of stuff and selling it. Yes. That's good that you'd want to get rid of your SUV and buy a minivan. And you can do that right away. Just do it. That way you have your minivan ready to go. And okay. So basically that's my advice for you. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but that's my advice. These are things you have to think of. You got the climate, you got your location. What are the laws? You've got, do you have a pet? How are you going to deal with that? Yeah, I mean, there are things that you need to think about. Your domicile is one of the most important things to think about. And I've got How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Leeway. Really. And it's a huge chapter on domicile. It is your encyclopedia from A to Z on everything. Seriously, it's the most comprehensive van life book out there. I mean, some of them, they're real small and they're just like, oh, this and that, yeah, you can do it, everything. I've got it all right there. And it's not just for minivans, it's for all sizes. And no, I don't deal with RVs, like gray water, black water, things like that. No, I don't deal with that. But I deal with, it could be a SUV, sedan, a ProMaster, Sprinter, a Transit, a build out like an Econoline van. Yeah, it's for that. It's all of those. Okay? So, and it's on Amazon. Blackout Nomads. This deals with what you're thinking about in Florida. And it very well could grow. Yeah. They say it's because they're just following the rules of like when after 9/11, the Patriot Act. Yeah. You need to be on the grid. You need to have a home. You need to have a residence. We need to know exactly where you are. Yeah. It isn't the days of Daniel Boone anymore where they just take off, like, where's Daniel Boone? I don't know. He's sleeping somewhere in the forest with his friends, with his group. But now everybody wants to know exactly where we are. And that's a Blackout Nomads. Oh, yeah, yeah. And it goes beyond, and it moves not only just nomads, but it moves to all kinds of people. The homeless, yeah, and even it will grow to even homes. So everybody thinks they might be safe. The New World Order is marching along, isn't it? Yeah, even if it seems calm right now. Oh yeah, yeah. So, Blackout Nomads, I recommend it on Amazon. Both of them are Amazon, and I got all my books there. All of them are there. So, let's end this. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It really does help me. It really does. I know I see a lot of people that watch my stuff, but they're not. I need that too. Please. One other thing, I know so many of you have bought my books. Well, I know. I mean, they're selling like hotcakes. But here's something I've noticed. I'm not getting reviews. You haven't left me. Could you go back to Amazon and please leave me a review? I mean, it really does help. That really helps me out. If you like me, please help me, okay? I put out a lot of good content for everybody, and I want to be helpful. This is how you can help me too, okay? Okay, till tomorrow, everybody. I love you. Oh, yeah. And Juliet, thank you. If you have any questions, anybody, I'll give you the shout out too, and I'll read your letter, your comment, okay? Mwah.